is completely disregarded because they were already consuming seaweed before. So,
Watch for a minute, ignore the data and say the study is right. 31 years old study, 35 years old study. Why have there not been subsequent studies proving the same?
where has there been a controlled trial or a randomized controlled trial?
What I'm saying, why are there not more studies?
Why are there not more
If you're
studies?
developing goiter in people, why are there not other studies which have subsequently observed the same thing that you here are looking at from a study which is for the crisis?
I mean, if I could do a study, I would definitely do it, but I can't because I don't have it.
The problem with this study is, this study was done at a time where there were no techniques like ANOVA. People used to run statistical models by themselves. How can you trust these researchers okay, look at this. How can you trust these researchers if they could not even plot the right kind of data? I just showed you the problem with the data.
Because they are clinical professionals and they can
Clearly use medical equipment. If they cannot plot data, then it's fine as long as they're medical professionals and they found out that people got
That is
COVID.
the best thing I've
You are-
heard in my life.
I'm sure you've heard a lot of timelines before.
Not that
This
you're basing the entire conclusion on data. If you don't know how to put the data in place, basically there's no excuse for that. It's a bad study. Okay, it's a bad study. Go and check with someone.
So alright, so you're going to
ignore the seaweed fact, or do you have something to say for that?
I put you at least 5 or 6 different problems with the study, and you are going on about the same thing. I'm saying this was non-randomized control trial. It was a poor sample size. There was no elevation in
57 is not a poor sample size.
Okay, let's say the sample size was decent enough. Okay, T3, T4, TSH, no changes.
TSH changes were there.
Many confounding variables. The data was reported on a questionnaire from people who said yes, we did consume 30 grams of soy. Okay, there were many outliers which maybe they categorically introduced to screen the mean. There were outliers or not? Look at the data. There were outliers or not? Why did they introduce the outliers? Why did they make the outliers come to the final this thing? Instead of mean, shouldn't have taken median, which is a standard practice in statistical analysis? You tell me. If your mean is getting screwed by multiple outliers with a higher z-value, what is recommended? You tell me.
alright, I'll give you that point, man. I don't understand these statistical terms and I'm not afraid to accept to this fact. Alright?
No, perfectly fine. Look, I don't expect you to understand statistics. But do you agree that statistics basically lay the foundation of any conclusion that somebody derives from a study? If the scientists are putting, imagine, you are basically evaluating effect of a food on somebody's blood pressure levels, and you end up plotting wrong blood pressure levels. Somebody will come to a wrong conclusion. Hey, this food may be, wrongly elevated somebody's blood glucose levels. The whole study is messed up. You can't rely on that study if the data is not correct. Do you agree to this fact or not?
No, because the main fact.
I'm making a very big claim here. Okay. I'm making a very big claim. I'm saying if the study does not have correct data, the entirety of that study can be rejected.
So
A very big claim. You can oppose this claim, you can go check with someone. But I'm making this very big claim. If there is problem with the data in a study, anything that the study says cannot be trusted.
Okay, so that's your stance or your nuance. Now, I'll address the 5 mistakes that you said the debate has. So, the first.
Moving from that to that now.
That is, come on, man. This is one of your 5 claims that makes the study useless, right? You mentioned 5 points, so I'll address all of these one by one. I'll address all of these one by one. I am not interrupting. I am not interrupting you at all. I am not interrupting you at all, and we are not the judge of this debate.
now the audience is the judge of this debate, and the audience will judge on their own. Right? We are not.
Okay.
I am not going to judge you.
I think you can do the conclusion. I have no further points to make.
Of course, perfect. So that's what I was going to suggest. You've given your 5 points. Now I'll give my 5 points, and you won't interrupt me. Hopefully. So
I'm going on mute.
Oh, perfect. So again, now I'll address your statistics point as well, but I don't want you to get angry again before I finish all my points. Now, first thing you said is
that there was no increase of TSH levels, and I'd like to show that there was an increase in TSH levels. TSH sorry, not this one. I think it's not in this page.
so yeah, TSH TSH increased significantly. This was the first claim that you made, that TSH and T3, T4 levels didn't increase. This is the first claim. TSH levels increased significantly. There was a decreasing trend in the thyroid values. There's that as well. So that was my response to your first claim, that these levels are wrong. Second, you said that I think you mentioned somewhere along the lines that the sample size is incorrect, is not enough, it's not decent.
So the sample size was 57, which is a pretty decent thing, and I think you already accepted that. So there's that one. There's 54, sorry. There's 54 cases that were selected. You said it wasn't regulated properly. So addressing that, I will show this. Searches were conducted in the morning before soybean administration, on the last day of soybean administration, and after 3 months of soybean and discontinuation. And you said that they were just based on questionnaires, but it's clearly written that searches were conducted in the morning before administration, on the last day of administration, and after 3 months of soybean administration and discontinuation. Alright, so this is your third claim, and this is my response to your third claim. And again, now when we talk about statistics, you can tell me that this graph is incorrect. If I could read this graph, I would definitely give you a response to that. But since you're saying, I'll take your word and I'll assume that this graph is incorrect only because of this 1, 2, 3, 4 outliners that you mentioned. Alright, which may make the serum TSH increase or decrease incorrect, right? Which may change the fact that there is no increase or decrease in serum TSH levels. Alright, you're just saying that this graph is wrong, and the other graphs you have, there's only one other graph. So yeah, about that, since you're mentioning TSH is incorrect, I agree, maybe it could be possible that the TSH levels are incorrect, but again, if we talk about the entire study, the conclusion is that 11 people got goiter, and out of, I think you mentioned 34 or 37, out of these people, 11 people got goiter, which is a pretty high number. And I, as a medical professional, I don't care what these numbers say or what these numbers say. I only care about the fact that 11 people out of about 37, which is about 1/3 of the population, got goiter. Alright, and to debunk your seaweed claim, since you opened an entire study about seaweed, I've already responded to that before, and I would just like to say that seaweed it was already a part of their diet, and right after they started consuming soy, they saw the problems, and right after they stopped consuming soy, they were still consuming seaweeds. And the debate isn't about it's not on soy, by the way. The debate is on anti-nutrients, and if something in seaweed, as per your statement, is causing problems with absorption or thyroid levels or thyroid disorders, then that particular item in seaweed is also an anti-nutrient. So that just comes to the fact that there is a lot of evidence that suggests that thyroid anti-nutrients can have disrupting effects. And we have a lot of evidence on infants. We have a lot of studies here and there that talk about the issues with anti-nutrients. And I'm sure you agree to the fact that there are a couple of studies that do point to this fact. Now, there are studies that talk about therapeutic benefits of anti-nutrients as well. But concluding overall, as a professional, I would only suggest to a particular person to start consuming food which lacks those micronutrients or those anti-nutrients which may have which may have potential negative or side effects to that particular person's digestion or etc. So again, concluding in bold terms, what I would like to say is it's always better to avoid those food items that lack a potential of side effects and consume those food items that have proper research that talk about the benefits of that particular food item. So yeah, that's me concluding. This is okay. If you have something to add, you can add, or you can present any argument that you have.
Guys, I'll be recording some long format videos in the coming days on how to read studies, how to understand basic level statistics. I would highly recommend Harsh watch those videos. With that, I think you guys have been a great audience. Harsh, it was a very civil discussion, and I'm sure this whole thing will be posted on your live feed, and that's amazing. By the way, I'm very sleepy, so hats off you guys. Thank you so much. Great work you're doing, Harsh. Don't mind some of the things I say, okay?
Of course.
Please continue making your funny videos. Good night.
So that's how the debate ends. And Abhi, before you mute yourself, I'll quickly turn off the live session. Just 2 minutes, man. So thank you all for joining in.
I'll see you guys